Dear viewers, I welcome you to the Press Express talk show, Policy Talks. Today, we do have guests, Mr. Shamsher Mabin Chaudhary, Chairperson of Trinamool BNP. Mr. Shamsher Mabin Chaudhary, I welcome to our show.
Thank you very much.
And thank you very much for giving us time, despite your busy schedule, to organize your political party, Trinamool BNP. Asking you rude questions because people of our country, they love to know from your part. That is, why have you left BNP?
I left, I don't think it's a rude question, I think it's a frank question.
Thank you.
I left BNP in 2015.
Long back.
Yes, 8 years ago. And the reason I showed on my resignation letter, basically I said I'm retiring from politics. However, at the end of my letter, I also added being a freedom fighter, a wounded freedom fighter, and having an inherent love for my country. If at some future time, if my health permits and if I have the opportunity to work for the people of Bangladesh and for Bangladesh, then I will make myself available. So I think Trinamool BNP had given me this opportunity. For some time before the 2018 election, I worked with Kolkata, Bangladesh also. But I was very disillusioned with what they were doing, or what basically they were not doing. So I officially left that also written notice to them, for whom I have a lot of respect as an individual and as a politician. In any case, now Dr. Barrister Nazmul Huda and I have known each other personally and his family for a very, very long time.
Nazmul Huda, that is founder of Trinamool BNP.
He was also founder member of BNP.
Yes.
Under presidency. Right. And we all know what happened to him. Eventually, even being a founder member, he had to leave.
As you say, no, we all know, but our new generation, they have not that much of idea. Would you please make a little bit, few lines of clarification?
Well, he had serious disagreements with some of the things that BNP was doing or not doing. One of the things he said that any political problem between the two major parties, basically there are two major parties, the Awami League and they control about 90-95% of the political space of Bangladesh. And he had very strongly suggested that there should be a dialogue to resolve any issue. There should be an element of compromise to resolve any issue, which the BNP leadership thought that it was like a challenge to BNP.
So you do carry the same philosophy?
Well, I am a strong believer. I'm a strong believer in dialogue. War has not solved as many problems as dialogue has. Rather, dialogue has solved many more problems than war has. So, I always believe that our politics is the art of compromise. You cannot say I want 100% of what I have. And you have to learn to converse, which is dialogue, compromise, and then find a consensus that is agreeable to all sides, which the people of Bangladesh can agree. Because at the end of the day, it is not the interest of the party, it is the country, people, ordinary people who you find who have to be the target of your policy and politics.
Exactly right. At this point, one question is poking in my mind. We all know you are a valiant freedom fighter, seasoned diplomat. You served in Bangladesh Foreign Ministry as a foreign secretary. You are a military person, so you do have a very strong heart, strong nerve. I would say courageous heart. But you have mentioned in your resignation letter addressed to the MP that on your health issues, you're leaving the MP. But was it sort of kind of diplomatic plea? That is, it was not the main point. It was rather behavioral pattern of BJP's political notes. That is, they are getting very close to Jamaat-e-Islam because you are a valiant freedom fighter, okay, and their association more of with Islamist forces, and that triggered you to leave them.
See, there are many things that you disagree with in a political party. You don't say all of that in public. You say many of the things behind closed doors or within closed session of the political party, whichever the political is. But when you take a decision, a major decision to resign, ostensive reason shown is my health. So that nobody can, question it. So I showed my health reasons, but I also left the options open that if I have a chance in the future, opportunity to serve the people, being a freedom fighter, my first love is always my country. I think of just maybe one instance, but it is perhaps significant in the larger context of our liberation war, the goal of our liberation war, the values of our liberation war. Today we see a huge difference between the rich and the poor. Yes, I must say over the last 10 years, our daughter, she deserves all the credit for what she has done. But when the man in the village today knows that if he buys potato, he cannot buy onions. And if he buys onions, he cannot buy eggs. Prime Minister who can build Bandar Bridge, who can start metro rail in the country, it was unthinkable 10 years ago. Limited expressways, people can go from one place to the other quite quickly. All this is great achievement.
Mr. Chaudhary, exactly, I want to catch this point that you are talking about, for the marginalized people, right? Rights for them. We
fought for them. We fought the liberation for the marginalized people of the society, the deprived people of the society.
Can I ask you one more question? Because you are a freedom fighter. Going back to the memory of 7th of March, the grand speech delivered by the father of the nation, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. You were at the time very young officer. What was the emotion you were triggered with his speech?
I think my analysis of the historic 7th of March 1971 speech, I would say declaration of Father of the Nation, significance of it. First of all, if you look at the 23 years of United Pakistan, this was definitely the first time that the leader of a major mainstream political party, or at that time only major mainstream, threw an ultimatum to the government of Pakistan that you withdraw martial law, send the army back to the barracks, investigate all the killings that have taken place in this Pakistan. He told the president of Pakistan, and hand over power to the elected representatives. So, as an elected leader of the largest party, that was had enough seats to form the government in Pakistan. Such an ultimatum in itself shows his courage, his conviction, his commitment. The other significance is, while he was throwing this ultimatum to the government, he was also telling the Bangladeshi people, the bodies. Prepare yourself to fight the enemy. You use the word enemy. You know who the enemy is. Whatever you have, be prepared to fight with that. We have given blood. We are ready to give more blood for your freedom.
You, as a friend, we have also given
so
blood.
If you do not meet these objectives, then remember that this time our liberation, our movement is for our liberation, our movement is for our independence. It was perhaps the most brilliant piece of oratory, and he spoke extempore, both in form and in substance. Speech of a responsible political leader. That time he was still the political leader of Pakistan. To throw such an ultimatum to Pakistan and say that meet these demands, remember our struggle is for our freedom and for independence. So he had prepared the people for a guerrilla style warfare and see if Pakistan meets our demands. So that is the historic and the real value of Bangabandhu's speech.
Right in the moment, again, sort of, I do count, maybe it's your second participation of the Liberation War. You started leading Trinamool BNP. What's your vision? Where do you want to see Trinamool BNP?
See, Trinamool BNP, the word BNP in Trinamool BNP is not Bangladesh Nationalist Party.
Oh,
it is Trinamool Bangladesh National Party.
Okay, Trinamool BNP is Trinamool Bangladesh
National Party.
National Party.
In reality, it is a small party, very small. But even in our small way, even in our limited way, if we can bring some benefit to the people of the country, try to create a national consensus on the values of our liberation, on the spirit of our liberation, that we believe in a non-communal.
It's to catch the election train.
Of course, we want to go to elections. People can express themselves, express their choice, and provided that election is free, the election is fair, the election is peaceful, that the civil administration, law enforcement agencies play their role in a neutral manner, and provided that the powers that have been given to our election commission by our law, can the election commission be allowed to use that power properly?
So, with due respect, you said that probably, how do you examine this probability of the election commission's strand to hold a free and fair election?
But I think in terms of the legal power that has been given to the election commission, it's immense, it's huge. So let the election commission play their role as per the powers that is given to them. You see, our constitution says, our law says, that the moment the election schedule is announced, the executive powers go to the election commission. Transfer of civil administrators, etc. becomes our election commission. So let the election commission enforce the power that are given to them. Then you can have a free election.
Does your political party, Trinamool BNP, expect any invitation to sit for a dialogue with the election commission?
I think it is very important for the election commission to sit with every major political party or every small political party. And
have you got any communications meanwhile?
We have not yet formally communicated with them, but of course, in a matter of days, we sending them a formal letter suggesting that we would like to meet with them, have a dialogue with them. We should also probably have a dialogue with the ruling party, and explain our views, where we stand and what we want to achieve.
May I shift to another agenda? you are a seasoned diplomat,
a valiant freedom fighter, having these two very significant identities. Could you please shed light on the situation that some of major foreign power are intervening into the politics of Bangladesh? How do you examine it?
But I think the whole principle of interference in the internal affairs of a country actually tantamounts to violation of international law. Whether it is Russia's invasion of Ukraine or whether it is somebody's making, statements or taking decisions on the upcoming national election of Bangladesh. These are all acts of interference in internal affairs of other countries. So we hope they will come to their senses and not interfere in the internal affairs of Bangladesh. We are a responsible country. We've proven to the world that we are a responsible country. When the whole Western world is against the idea of foreigners coming into their country, they are developed countries, the richer countries. We are not a developed country yet. We are not a rich country. But even then, our Prime Minister gave shelter to more than 1 million Rohingya refugees when fleeing them. So this is, by doing this, and it has been a huge burden to us. It's a problem we did not create. It's a problem created by Myanmar. And then our Prime Minister gave them shelter. So it shows that Bangladesh is a responsible regional and a global player. We are located very strategically. Now those who are issuing different policies and making different sentences, do they do the same with every country in the world? So that means there is an element of contradiction in their policies and in their positions. There are many countries with whom this country countries have very important, significant political, geopolitical relationship, where even a proper election is not held. Election is never held. In one-party states, there's nothing called elections. But they maintain very political, they don't make any statement about free, fair, participatory elections, or we have a visa policy, or this and that. So why do they, play this dual game, this duplicity, which I think is immoral and very wrong? Do they have any other interest behind their game? That is something I think the government, responsibility of the government.
So you do see in this area geopolitical game?
Yes, of course. Everything today is geopolitical. Bilateral relationships today are centered around geopolitics.
So that from this hotspot, right at the moment, seems Bangladesh is facing geopolitical tussles. It's becoming a geopolitical hotspot. Would you please shed on it? How do you examine being a seasoned diplomat?
Well, I can express that view individually as a person, also a express that view on behalf of my party, Trinamool Bangladesh National Party. Our party's belief is that, my own belief is that today's, there is, of course, bilateral relationships between countries. Historically, India is very, very important. India played a very crucial role in our war of liberation. They sacrificed lives for us. So we have to maintain that relationship with India in a very strong, but in a very positive, where there is mutual respect, mutual gains, and mutual benefit. But today, in the current global scenario, everything has become part of geopolitics. And we are caught in this middle of the storm of geopolitics that is now taking place not only in the outside world, but also in our part of the world, centering the Indo-Pacific, in Indian Pacific. So we have expressed.
There are many players right at the moment. Maybe one in India, then China, Russia, America, and all of them are.
No, you're also forgetting Japan. I mean, Australia,
yes.
all very important players. France, the French president was in Bangladesh very recently. And so when you look at the series of visits to Bangladesh and contact the Bangladesh, the Russian foreign minister visited Bangladesh on his way to Delhi, and then the French president visited Bangladesh on bilateral after the G20. At the G20, our Prime Minister was the only South Asian leader who was invited to the G20, which is a great sense of satisfaction for us. Our President was invited to the ASEAN Summit, which takes place around the same time.
That's why I'm very much interested with the statement issued by the Honorable Prime Minister, that inclusiveness, which was also vividly stated in the Indo-Pacific Outlook.
We believe in a peaceful, inclusive, and a safe Indo-Pacific. It's a very critical area, the Indo-Pacific. It's a very, very vital and strategically located area. We are in that region through the Bay of Bengal. So we have to have a very well thought out Indo-Pacific outlook that we have. We think it is time also to look beyond an outlook. Outlook is neither a strategy nor a policy. It is an outlook. So what should be our policy? Well, our policy is guided by our economic interest, and it has to remain peaceful, and it has to be inclusive. Now, this is a very challenging task for a country like Bangladesh. Refugees from Rohingya, United States, with India, with China, with Japan, with Australia, with the UK. But we don't want to belong to any particular military alliance. It shows a lot of maturity around that. We believe in military cooperation bilateral, or even regionally or sub-regionally, but not being a part of a military.
Thank you very much for enriching us. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
much.
much.
I look forward to remaining in touch with Press Express in the future, and I will also encourage you to carry out your journalism in a true professional manner, in a very objective manner, so that the people of Bangladesh, English leaders, not many of them are English leaders, look at you as an objective, unbiased.
Thank you so much. We will carry your wishes. Dear viewers, we have listened Mr. Shamsher Mubin Chaudhary, Chairperson of Trinamool PM, a valiant freedom fighter, a former Foreign Secretary of Bangladesh, military personnel. Viewers, thank you so much for staying with us, and be with us with the Press Express. This is our Policy Talks platform. Again, someday, sometime, we will come with another guest, with another issues in front of you. Thank you so much. Stay good, stay healthy.